We continue to preview the 2025 college football season. Our stop today is Winfield, Kansas, as we visit with Brad Griffin, who is heading into decade number 2 with the program there for Southwestern. The Moundbuilders had a great season, Coach, in 2024, and I think that's the best place to start right there. 11-2 overall. Let's talk about the regular season to begin with. 10-1, quite a run. The one loss just has to be one of the most amazing ways to end a football game, and not in your favor in that one. But tell us a little bit about the season.
Yeah, one, appreciate you having me on and continuing to do this every year. The coverage for the NAIA is much appreciated for sure in our conference and Southwestern College, and making me feel old a little bit going into year 11. But last season was, a remarkable year. Just had a bunch of great kids and great coaches, and the season was a lot of fun. And to be able to show up every week and be competitive and win, nearly all of them through the regular season was definitely, a challenge. But at the same time, I felt like our guys did a really good job. But yeah, unfortunate, had the tough loss to Friends, and they're a good program, and Coach Harrison does a great job there. And hopefully we'll continue to have those close games like that. And unfortunately been on that end twice in my coaching career with a blocked field goal returned back for a touchdown with no time left. So, and on both ends, on the not the fun side, but yeah, just a great season. And, had a lot of school records and did some stuff for the first time in a long while here at Southwestern. So I'm extremely proud of those guys and our staff and our school and everybody that was involved. So we'll see if we can keep it going. That's going to be the toughest part.
Well, I think the way you all played, it was indicative of the great competition within the conference and within the division as well. And that's absolutely wild that you've seen that twice, because that is such a weird way to the walk-off blocked field goal, I guess, is the call there. If you go with that, that was incredible. But you do make it to the playoffs, and that was a big deal too. I was excited when the field was announced, and you all were in there at 10-1 with such tough competition throughout the country there. And when you get down, you're hoping you make it in, and you all did, earned a position without question there. You get a win against St. Francis of Indiana. And I, at the time, I think there's some folks thought, y'all were the underdog at that point in time, but you come up 31-24, get a win over a very good program there. And then you go up against a strong Indiana Wesleyan team, come up a little bit short there, but still a playoff win too. And the program just, again, 11-2 overall. Tell us a little bit about the postseason.
Yeah, the postseason was, same thing, very nerve-wracking to see if we were going to get in, with a little bit of nationally, the KCAC potentially doesn't get quite what we feel like we deserve as far as where we feel like we fall in the rankings and stuff like that. But you have to go win playoff games, and we haven't done a lot of that in the past, So, was a little bit nervous about getting in, and once we saw that we got in and we got to host a playoff game, that was huge. And I'm, being in the mid-states for my earlier career of being at William Penn, I was very familiar with St. Francis. Played those guys, and actually my last year there in 14, we beat St. Francis at their place went for 2, and it was pretty cool to against such a good program, and for those guys to come over here and to be competitive in the mid-states is tough. And then for us to go win a game says a lot about our conference. I mean, we've got good football here. And so hopefully we can continue to build off of that. But it's a great win, obviously being able to play at home and, beat a quality team and program like that. And then get a chance to go up and play in a beautiful facility up there in Marion, Indiana. And, to Indiana Wesleyan programs, obviously one of the top ones in the country. And we were really like a play or two away from being able to go win on the road up there. I think, can't turn the ball over, just especially in playoffs. And but great experience for our guys. We've been in the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. And, so I think it was a great, you know, if you're going to continue to get in, we need to see progress. That's the way I would want to see it, as nationally, as whether we're on the committee or, you know, just a coach that maybe feels like they should have got in, or a program. So to show that, hey, we can be competitive. You know, we went to Marion, you know, 4 years ago, and had a chance to win on the road there, you know, but so to get a quality win and to go show that we can be competitive against a top 5 program or 10 program, I think says a lot about our conference. So hopefully we can continue to build off of that.
Coach, I want to stay there for just a little bit longer because I mentioned going into decade number 2. Sorry, it's not an old joke. I have a few of those, but not just yet. We'll
Yes.
keep it at heading into year 11. But you make a good point that if you want the national recognition, once you get in, you have to make some noise, and you did this year. I mean, first playoff win for Southwestern in 26 years. So you do at least have that one. You got the notch there on the wall, and you get that playoff win. And you mentioned it too, 3 playoff appearances in the last 4 years. The program in your first 10 years, if you haven't already said what you want to say about that, what do you say about 10 years there in Winfield?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's been a blessing, to be able to be here and be around the people that I get to come to work with every day, and the kids that we have in our program, and to see the growth. I mean, that was, when you whether you're an assistant coach or a head coach, it was my first head coaching experience. You internally, you hope you see a lot of growth. Initially, you understand that you're probably not going to have a lot of success on the field, just when ultimately people are looking at the scoreboard as far as judging a program from the outside. But so I'm just super proud of that. We've been able to build a program that can be competitive, and we're a little bit limited resources here at Southwestern, but we make the best of what we have, and so I'm proud that we can go be competitive nationally. I mean, and I think the biggest piece of it all is that we figured out, I guess, I don't know how you want to put it, but that if you just bring in the right fit and people buy in to whatever you feel like the values that are important to you, regardless of if you're athletic or big and strong and fast and all those things, I think if you can buy in and you're tough and you want to compete, that you can be successful. And I think that's where we're at right now, is we just got a bunch of guys that buy into each other and care about each other and being competitive. And I think that's kind of was my background playing for Coach Kill back at Emporia. It was blue collar, and we're going to be tough, and we'll play you wherever, and see how it goes. And that's kind of been our approach here as well. So just proud of that, and hopefully we can. It's sustainability and consistency and all those things. Can you keep it going? Like that's raising the bar and all those things. Just hopefully we can continue to do that.
We're visiting now with Brad Griffin, who is, again, heading into decade number 2 with the Southwestern Moundbuilders, visiting today on Midwest Sports Net here on the Summit. And I encourage you, please take the time, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate that. Coach, I have zero idea exactly what it does from an algorithm perspective, but it's encouraging. So we enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. Let's look at 2025 then, Coach, and it's every year that we've done this. We've talked about Braden Howell. I'm going to mention his name again because, well, he's graduated, but he's going to leave a little bit of a gap. There's a wake there. 3,000+ yard passer last season alone. Tell us a little bit about your offense. It could start as one of the receivers that he kept finding over and again. Matthew Holthusen is back, so that may be the place to start.
Yeah, for sure. No, just talk about Braden real quickly. I mean, he had a heck of a career here, and last year just a phenomenal season. And he's still playing football. He's overseas playing right now, and I know he just did a great job of leading, and he kind of was able to make those plays that the backyard play a little bit that kind of kept things moving a little bit, but surrounded with a great group of guys. So moving into the season, I mean, we'll have, I believe we have 8 starters back. I mean, every year our guys, they got to earn their spot, but eight starters back, and Matt's been phenomenal for us for the last 3 years, and he'll hopefully have another good season. We've got competition at quarterback. I mean, we feel like we have some good replacements, so to speak, there. I mean, that will hopefully continue to. We've had pretty good quarterback play over the last 4 or 5 years. So, and that's, if you got a quarterback and you can, you definitely can build something around that. So we feel good there. We got 2 or 3 of our receivers back that played a lot for us last year, along with Matt. But we feel good about our offensive line. I think we have three starters back there. I mean, if you can, put together a good group there, it's tougher. It's getting tough at our level to find some big bodies that you can win games with. So, and a kid that didn't get to play for us in the playoffs is Christian Stewart. He got hurt in our St. Francis game. So if we would have had him over in Indiana Westland, maybe it would have made a little bit of difference. But he's a phenomenal player, and we'll play him just about everywhere on offense. And so anyhow, Matt's a great one to work around. We'll see what happens at quarterback, and we feel like we have a couple guys there that can get it done for us on the offensive side.
All right, on the defensive side, Joey Morris, cool name, 82 tackles last year, led the team in tackles. He's graduated. He's moved on. I'll start with at least the secondary. Corey McCoy is coming back, had 4 picks for you. One of them returned for a touchdown. So possibly a good place to start on defense.
Yeah. Joey was a great player for us. He's actually going to be a graduate assistant for us. So he's going to stick around and help coach the linebackers. But Corey had a phenomenal year. He was a transfer for us last year and ended up, I don't know how many picks he had, but he had 3 in one game against Mac going into the last game of the year. But I think we have 2 starters back in the secondary. And I think we have 3 of 4 back at linebacker. And so those guys, Drayshawn Flowers and, we got Corbin Williams. Those guys were phenomenal players for us. Isaiah Yehuda was a redshirt freshman that just had a phenomenal year. And then up front, I believe we have 2 starters back. We play a 3-down scheme, and we brought in a couple guys this semester, so we feel pretty good about that. Jacarden Hardeman was an All-American for us, but he's done. He actually trying to go, the NCAA is saying if you didn't play JUCO or if you played JUCO or NAIA ball, you get another year. So he's actually got some options to go play one more year, so which is cool for him and our program. To go see if he can be competitive at, an NCAA. I think he's looking at a couple FCS schools. But anyhow, good group back. I think we have 7 starters back on defense. So, and we'll see. We've hopefully done a good job with recruiting and can fill some of those voids of those guys that Diego Stubbs was a stud for us last year that graduated. So we'll see. It's always fun coming in the fall to see who kind of steps up and fills in those voids of guys that had great years for us in the past.
I would think, though, again, with the success that you all have had, that recruiting to fill those voids, would be a little bit easier when you do have a couple of skins up there too, 11-2, and they know that there's a really good chance you're going to go to the playoffs again. Recent history would say so.
Yeah. I think every year you try to continue to out-recruit your guys. You try to get better players and all that. I mean, if you want to be competitive, you got to continue to go out and find those guys that maybe are getting D2 looks or mid-major looks or whatever, and see if you can snag a few of those guys. But the football in our area is really, really good. And in Kansas and Oklahoma, that's kind of our base of really where we get it. Most of our kids from. We've got into Arkansas and Missouri and the surrounding states too. But the level of play in the high school has been really, really good. So that's been huge for us to be able to. We are in D2 country though, so we got the MIAA and all the Oklahoma D2s, so it makes it a little bit difficult. But yeah, I mean, you just hope you continue to find those, like I was saying earlier, those guys that fit in, regardless of their talent. I think if you like I said, if you buy in, I think you can get a lot out of a young man that just being tough and playing hard can win a lot of games doing that.
Last year, there were 3 kickers who saw time for you over the course of the season. Those guys are all back. Competition, I would imagine, again in the camp
Yeah.
this summer.
Yeah. Had great competition last fall and obviously this spring as well. So yeah, those guys, and they're all pushing each other, and they're great young men. And we do the big thing, and they know it is just need to be consistent. So we can find one of those guys to really stand out and be consistent there. But all are more than capable for sure. I think the competition's definitely going to be good for those guys.
All right, Coach, the get to know you question of the summer, then I present to you right now. Coach, what is your favorite 80s song or 80s band?
Ooh, so I think this is an 80s band. So when I was in grade school, we have a bunch of us guys that would hang out, and um, we would listen to the hair bands quite a bit. So Def Leppard was one of my favorites, and I think we actually did this little skit in music class, and we played "Pour Some Sugar on Me" with like cardboard cutout guitars and stuff. So I'll just thinking back to that memory with some of my buddies. I guess that's my answer there for that question.
That is great. Hair bands too, and they definitely fit the mold there. I like their sound. That was a good sound. All right, Coach, that works. Well, the panel accepts that. We'll take that. Looking ahead, 2025, and as of this recording, I mean, you're less than 3 months away, right? Around 2.5 months from August 30th. You guys get to host Bethel. The KCAC, pretty much all KCAC schedule with crossover play to begin with. After Bethel at Tabor, then you get Evangel coming to town. They're in a different division this year. The division, a couple of adjustments, not too much, and that's going to happen in the KCAC every 2 years. You start off after a bye week. You get divisional play on October 18th at Sterling. Wrap things up, and the end of the year is at Kansas Wesleyan, which is the Coyotes in your division now. So tell us a little bit about the schedule this year.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, just like it's been. I think, if I wanted to be a little political or whatever here on the show, is I don't necessarily like how we're doing things right now, but it's what we decided a few years ago. I think we will change potentially how we set up the divisions, but regardless, you're gonna have to. We're playing everybody, and you can have some hiccups early here and then go win your division, and still potentially get in. But I think it's good football. It's going to be tough regardless. So with the tail end of ending, we're 2 years in a row ending with road games back to back. So that'll be tough. But everybody's going to be good. I mean, and we'll have some stiff competition on the back end when we play friends, and although they're all good, I mean, we show up and got to play. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, playing Evangel week 3 will be a tough game as well, but right now we're just focusing on Bethel. So we'll see what happens.
I understand, Coach. That's the first one right there. So we'll follow the Mound Builders this year. It's always a privilege to get to talk Southwestern football with you, Coach, and we're thankful that you took time with us today to do that here on Midwest Sportsnet. And success to the Mound Builders this year here in 2025. Thanks for being with us.
You bet. I appreciate it. Thank you again for the coverage.